Well, snowfall is expected to continue throughout the day in New York City. You could hear, could you hear the sleet hitting his jacket?
Yep.
Absolutely. The storm is already delaying transportation around the city, impacting today's commute for millions of people.
Kris Van Cleave is at the city's Emergency Management Operations Center in Brooklyn, and he joins us now. Look how calm and serene it is there behind you. I expected pandemonium, but this is what these people do, right, Kris?
Yeah. If I can pause for just 1 second, I sent David Begnaud earmuffs, and apparently he's not wearing them because I heard him complaining about his ears. I know he's from Louisiana and he lives down south. I sent him earmuffs, so things like this wouldn't happen.
He wouldn't wear them because I'm sure he wants to look good, Kris, while he's doing his thing.
Begnaud has his swagger.
That's right.
And I remember growing up in Canada, one of the things that it was at a time when I was a kid, it wasn't cool to zip up your jacket.
Right.
So it would be, we'd be in the middle of a snowstorm. We all had to have our jackets open because that showed how tough you were.
Right.
So,
well, now that I'm an old man, I wear everything.
You wore shorts to work today, didn't you, Anne-Marie?
I might have thought about it. I can't confirm or deny that.
Of course you did. All right. So the EOC just did a briefing here, guys, resetting for the day, and what they've said is that they've actually sort of lowered the expectations for what the storm's going to do snow-wise down to about 4 to 8 inches for the city, but they are concerned about the sleet that is mixing in. That's going to cut the rain totals, but sleet and ice are not really great things for getting around. So they're continuing to keep that state of emergency in place here in New York City as well as across the state. Further upstate, they're getting a lot more snow. And really the bottom line here is stay off the roads while this is going on. It's just going to be a better day if you stay in. Subway service is running underground only. We may see the city recover a little bit faster than they have been planning with other modes of transportation, getting some of like Metro North, some of the above ground commuter trains back and running. The airports are essentially shut down today. Just spoke with American Airlines. They plan to restart more or less normal operations here in New York and in Boston tomorrow at noon. You'll see D.C. come back online today. We've been watching some video that the airports have put out of their snow crews that have been out all night in Washington, clearing out the runways and the tarmacs and the taxiways so they can get planes moving again. The airlines are hoping to have departures perhaps by about 2 o'clock or so today there. But here they are monitoring every aspect of this storm. That's from the fire to the police to ambulances, the city sanitation. They've got 2,000 vehicles out trying to clear the roads here in New York City. Certainly a much bigger effort across the state of New York. They're all in contact. The mayor's going to be here in a couple of hours for a press briefing and to get caught up here as well.
Kris, given that we were anticipating this storm, and that meant that the airlines were able to notify passengers that flights were going to be canceled, how soon will people be able to get back in the air if, for example, they had a flight that was scheduled for today? Is it going to be tomorrow morning? Is it going to be in a couple of days? How long does that usually take?
Well, so it depends on where they were originating from and a little bit. So if you were flying out of Washington, today, you probably got rebooked tomorrow or Thursday. I was supposed to leave tomorrow, and my flight has been rebooked for Thursday. So that gives you an example. It's probably a day, maybe 2 days. Right now is not the busiest time to travel. This is getting in, right before sort of that spring break rush starts. But you're looking at a day or two probably in most cases. But keep in mind, if you were canceled today out of New York City and the first flights don't start leaving until noon or 1 tomorrow, you may not get out until Thursday in New York and Boston. Whereas if you're in D.C., you may see planes leaving later today.
We covered the planes, we covered the automobiles, but what about the trains? If you were planning on heading out of town on Amtrak, anything we should know?
So if you're trying to go New York to Boston, that stretch is getting hit pretty hard with snow right now, and we've seen Amtrak suspend not only Acela service, but some of the regional train service between D.C. and New York. You're seeing a modified schedule. That means some trains are going to be canceled. Some trains are going to run with fewer cars. It really is best if you can stay in and wait out this storm to either leave tonight or tomorrow when things are getting back to normal. It's not a great situation to be out in. You've got high winds. That's going to affect visibility for vehicles. You also have ice. nobody likes ice. That just makes it hard to move around. So, in fact, producer Fernando Suarez slipped in the ice on his way in here today. We almost had an emergency outside the Emergency Operations Center. So just be careful out there, and if you don't need to go anywhere, don't.
Yeah,
well, if you're going to have an emergency, it's good that you, both of you, are at the Emergency Management Operations Center right there in Brooklyn, New York, Kris. Thank you very much. Kris Van Cleave reporting for us. We appreciate it.
Sure thing.